we're going to be talking about referrals, and I'm going to make this about maybe a 10 to 15 minute webinar, cut to the chase, get to the point, and emphasize why you need to start looking at referrals. All right, so let me get going. I want to share some data with you because I just want to get into this, okay? I got that nervous energy, Matt, so I'm ready to go. So, by the way, this past weekend, we just did our Sales Mastery Intensive workshop. It was awesome, man. Like I said, what I like about Sales Mastery Intensive, by the way, you can find more information at salesmasteryintensive.com, is that it's only 12 people. And when it's such a small group, it allows me to work with people directly to actually build out their sales process. So what's also fascinating is that for 12 hours, it's a 12-hour workshop and no PowerPoint. Zero PowerPoint, all workshop, which means you get your hands dirty. This past weekend, we had it was a great time. Great challenges. All right, Mariana Rivera. Hey, what's happening? So anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about getting referrals. Now, if you're in business today and you're not getting referrals, then that's a problem. Here's why. One of the fastest ways to grow your business is through referrals. It's mind-blowing to me how people who've already bought from us, we don't go back and actually ask them for referrals. We simply don't ask them. And so the question is, why? So if you're in business right now and you're listening to this or watching this rather, why don't you ask for referrals? And if you do, tell me how often do you ask for referrals? Because asking for referrals is, only cross-selling and upselling compete with referrals in terms of raising your business. Let me say that again. When it comes to raising your revenue, your sales, how much money you can generate, asking referrals and cross-selling are both the kind of the 1-2 punch that you need to grow your business without having to go out and get new business. See, many people don't like cold calling. They don't like prospecting, to which I always say, that's okay. If you have an existing business, let's go back and talk to people who've bought from us in the past who are happy, and let's see if we can sell them more. So I did some research because I put together a video series, a program. For those of you who know my Sales Mastery Academy or are part of my Sales Mastery Academy, check out this program. It's already in the library. But here's some data that's not included in the library that I want to share with you. Did you know that 84% of buyers basically kick off their process with referrals? In other words, when people are going to buy, they're going to look for people to refer them. Who's going to refer them? In other words, everybody's looking for referrals. How about this one? 9 out of 10 decisions are made from a peer. In other words, if somebody recommends somebody, you're most likely to buy. 9 out of 10 people are willing to buy something based on the fact that somebody they know, they trust, referred them. How about this one? 92% of buyers trust referrals from other people they know. 92% immediate trust factor, which is another reason why you should get referrals. How about this one? This will blow your mind. This is going to blow your mind. 83%, after a positive experience, 83% of customers say they would give you a referral. Listen to me. After a positive experience, 83% of customers said they would actually be more than happy to give you a referral. The question is, how many people actually ask for a referral? The answer, 29. In other words, most people don't give out referrals because, again, they don't ask for them. So in this case, when you look at it, just 25% of customers end up giving referrals. 29 end up giving referrals, which means 83 minus 29, do the math. Again, customers are waiting for you to ask them for referrals. And the thing is, we don't do it. This is one I thought was interesting. This is according to the Wharton School of Business. The lifetime value for a new referral customer is 16% higher. Now, what does that mean? That if you get a referral from somebody, the value of what they're going to buy or value over the lifetime of their buying from you will be 16% higher. Let's do the numbers. Let's say that you get a new customer, a referral, and they buy this year $10,000 worth of product. And you know that a buyer will stay around for, let's say, 5 years. So 10,000, right, times 5, that means the lifetime value of that referral is $50,000. But it's 16% higher than your regular customer, which means that they're buying more. So instead of buying 10,000, they might buy $1,600 more. Said another way, when you get a referral from somebody else, they will buy more of your product or services. So why not ask for the referrals? And so in this series that I put together, again, at the Sales Mastery Academy, one of the things I found out is that people simply don't ask for referrals. So let me ask you guys a question. Do you ask for referrals? If so, type in, here's how I ask for referrals. If you don't, tell me why you don't ask for referrals. Go ahead, type it in. I'll wait just a little bit. In the meantime, I'll see who's on here. Margarito, you're back. Villanueva Reyes. Kurt Klingenmeyer. Saw you at the Martial Arts Super Show. Great stuff. That was a great event, Kurt. That was a great event. I forgot who was the keynote speaker there, but he was very popular. Remember, he went over, I think he did a tour of duty, and I forgot his name, but he was such a great speaker at that event. That was a great event. And again, Kara, thank you for joining us. Orlando, thank you for joining us. So in my video series called Getting Referrals, it's a video series I put together again at the Sales Mastery Academy. And this is an outline, and I think there are about 21 videos in that series. But what I want to do is highlight just a couple of things and maybe share some mindset reasons why you don't ask for referrals. Now, one reason is you don't think you've earned the right to ask for a referral. Now think about that. That's very interesting. Why don't you think you've earned the right to ask for a referral? So again, if you did something positive for the customer, why not, again, ask for the referral? You may be saying, well, Victor, I just don't know how to ask for a referral. Well, in this series, we teach you how to ask. And guess what? There's no one or two ways of doing it. It's simply what you feel comfortable with, what language you feel comfortable with. But the problem is we simply don't ask. Number three, many companies don't have a follow-up program. In other words, well, we don't have a process to actually ask for the referrals. So one of the things I want to cover, and let me just run some data by you. 65% of businesses said they get their new customers from referrals. So that's a big number. But again, 79% of companies admit to not asking for referrals. That's almost 80% of companies simply don't ask for referrals. Okay, Johan Willow from Belgium watching. Thanks for the good advice, idea, solution. Referrals are indeed very crucial for the business, but over here, people do not get referrals due to the nature of our products. B2C business stair lifts. We ask for solutions. The reps have a paper with a cross and a customer needs to give them 4 referrals. We ask that for every visit. So again, you can ask for them. I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're in Belgium, Norway, all the way down under New Zealand. There's always a way to get referrals, whether directly or indirectly. There's a way to get referrals, and that's really the fastest way to actually get more revenue. Lorena, thank you. Encanta, car dealer presente. I love it. Car dealers in the house. My fears keep me from asking for referrals. Were you at the Plexus convention in Las Vegas? Yes, I was. I was that guy, so I was there. So again, it's interesting how listen, I'm telling you, it's not theory. Okay. I'm not guessing. I'm telling you the easiest way to grow your sales is to go back to your happy customers and ask for referrals. Think about it. If you hate cold calling, get referrals. If you hate prospecting via email, get referrals. Ask people for referrals. People who like you already, who you've done business with, who trust you. That's the fastest way of doing it. But again, 75% of businesses and maybe people simply don't ask for referrals. And I think part of it is you're scared. But here's what happens. Here's how many people ask for referrals. They're talking to a client, they close the deal, and they'll say something like this. Bill, Jill, if you know anybody who would be interested in my products, let me know. That would be a great lead for me. That's what you may say, right? Bill, Jill, if you know of anybody who could use our product or service, please let me know. Now, is that asking for referrals? Yes or no? I'll let you answer. Yes or no. Is that asking for referrals? Yes or no? Kurt says, we just asked for the referral at the time of enrollment. Not a bad idea. And you bring up a good point, Kurt. There is no right time to ask for it. Well, obviously, you don't ask for it at the beginning before you've proven yourself. But some point along the process, when you've proven yourself, that's when you can ask for the referral. A couple of people just joined us. So again, it's not. Lorena, you're absolutely right. Telling somebody, hey, if you think of anybody, let me know, is not asking for a referral. That's a lazy way of asking for referrals. Because here's what happens. As soon as you leave, that person is on to something else, right? That business person is on to doing something else. They're not going to be thinking about you. They're going to forget about you. If you've been to my workshops, you know I use this study. It's called the Ebbinghaus curve. Most people will forget 75% of the information you gave them within 24 hours. Think about it. They forget 75% of what you said within 24 hours, which means if you just say, hey, if you think of anybody, give me a call. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. You also may use this strategy. You give the person 2 or 3 business cards and you say, hand it out to somebody who you think may, be be interested in our business services. Does that work? No. Why? Because basically you're telling them, I need you to work for me. Can you go out and distribute these cards? I mean, come on. They're not just going to hand somebody a card coldly without explaining why they're giving them the card. So you're asking them to do something that maybe they're uncomfortable with. Ray says, I have been asking for referrals lately to every one of my clients. There you go, Ray. Type in, let me know how that's going. And again, it is an art to asking, but it's just about asking. And you know me, I always say you got to ask. Now, let me cover a couple of things I think are very interesting. And I want to run some data pieces by you. I want to give you some value on this. By the way, how many use social media to ask for referrals? How many of you use social media to ask for referrals? Most of us simply don't. Just type in, if you use social media to ask for referrals, how do you do it? That's one of the things I cover in the course. How do you do that using, let's say, social media like Facebook? How do you use it, Twitter, LinkedIn? How do you ask for referrals? And again, the goal is to make it easier for the other person to actually pass your name on. Also, I want to go into some data here. I want to give you some good stuff here. So one of the things I cover in the course is how do you ask for a referral via email? And one of the things I found that's included in the program is very interesting. And we have different examples. But did you know that the headline by itself makes all the difference in the world? The headline, what you use in the headline when you send the email, makes all the difference in the world. One study showed, and I want you to write this down, that the optimum number of words in your headline should be 3. That if you use 4 or 5, the actual open rate drops by 26%. I mean, think about that. Use 3 words, but by using a 4th or 5th, the actual open rate drops by 26%. So how can you create a 3-word subject line that makes people remember to actually send you a referral? Also, in the script, example, what do you say? Again, here's something I write and I use a lot. I'll say something, for example, I'm talking to Bill. My headline typically says this. So if you want to write this, here's what I usually write. Introduction reminder. Okay, let me stop here real quick. I'm going to change your programming. Okay? Let's never use the word referral. I mean, we'll talk about referrals, but let's, when we're talking to a customer, we never use the word referral. What we use is, don't give me a referral. You say, Bill, Jill, is there any way you can provide an introduction? Ooh, I like introduction, right? The word introduction has less of a negative connotation that makes them want to work. In other words, by saying, can you introduce me? It's very polite, right? Can you introduce me to so-so? So by deleting the word referral, don't ever ask for a referral, always ask for an introduction. So change that. So in the headline, let's say, and let me set this up. I've talked to Bill, we've closed the deal, we've delivered on the service, Bill is happy. At that meeting, what I said to Bill or Jill, we'll say, Bill, they'll tell me they're happy with my services, and here's what I do. And this is what we talk about in the workshop. What I do is I ask them, I said, Bill, can you think about somebody who has your similar problem in your industry that's in your position? Now notice what I just did. Somebody like you, with a company like yours, in your position, with your similar issues. Does anybody come to mind? And what do you think Bill's going to do? Go, yeah, I've got a couple of people come to mind. Well, here's what I want you to do, Bill. I'd like you to provide me an introduction to those people, because I'm thinking he probably doesn't have the information at hand. Now, some people say, well, I got the information right here, Victor. Here it is. But I'll ask politely, I said, do you have those names handy? And he'll go, well, let me think about it. I said, well, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this person with this type of problem, with this type of issue to resolve that's in this market. Now, why is that important? Because too often we depend on the person to think about who the referral should be. For example, if I just say, hey, Bill, can you think of anybody that you can refer to me? Now, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to lock up because it's too broad. The question's too big. But as soon as I say, Bill, let me ask you a question. Do you know anybody who's in your industry who's also in your similar position? And he's going to say, yeah, I think of a couple of people. Can you think, as you're thinking of that list mentally, Bill, run through that list. I said, are there 2 or 3 people that come to mind that could use this particular service that I have? And they're usually going to say, yeah, actually, I can't think of 2 or 3 people. Get the idea? So in other words, what you want to do is frame the referral. request. In other words, you want to frame that conversation and not just ask for something. Hey, if you know anybody, that's not asking for a referral. That's asking for an opinion. Big difference, right? So again, at the end of a meeting or the last conversation, we've delivered on value. I'm going to ask them to think about somebody within this frame, right? 2 or 3 names will come to mind. And by the way, I like to use that language. Can you think of 2 or 3 people that immediately come to mind? And I usually get, yeah, I kind of can know 2 or 3 people. I said, well, those are the people that I want to connect with, and I'd like you to introduce me to. And then again, I don't put them on the spot. What I like to do is I'll follow up with an email and I'll request those introductions. And he says, great, Victor, shake hands, leave. Now I go back to my office and I'll write something like this. I'll put in the headline, introduction reminder, not referral request, introduction reminder, stayed under 3 words, right? And I'll say something like this. Again, these are my words. You can use whatever words you want, okay? Email script will say, Bill, just wanted to gently remind you of our discussion about the potential client you mentioned that might be interested in our product or service. I've crafted an introductory email that you can send, and I will take it from there. Thank you in advance, Victor Antonio. Now, what I've done is I've crafted the actual forwarding email that I want him to send. I don't want to make him write it. Remember, our job is to reduce friction, right? So when we're requesting something from somebody, we want to make it easy for them. So the referral script goes something like this. Name of the referral, right? This is not coming from me. It's coming from Bill. I just wrote it for him, right? Bill's going to send this off to, let's say, John. John, I've been working with Victor Antonio. We were talking about whatever need I filled, and I think the 2 of you should meet. Victor, meet John. John, meet Victor, and boom, they CC'd me on the email, connection made. Are you with me? That's how it works. It's that simple. But again, it's all about knowing how to ask, framing the conversation, not asking for a referral, asking for an introduction, writing a follow-up email. And again, if you can get the referral right there and then, do so. But in many cases, they're not able to come up with 1 or 2 names, and you don't want to put them on the spot. Let me look at some of these questions. My man, Chevy. Love Chevy, man. Thank you for joining me, Chevy. Consumer's Choice Awards, folks. Hi, Victor. You are so spot on with your tips. I mention this all the time to our salespeople. Think of it as your happy customers are your most influential. There you go. Straight from the Consumer's Choice Award, folks. Thank you very much. So again, asking for referrals is one of the fastest ways to fill your pipeline. Look, I was working with Grant Cardone about 3 or 4 months ago, probably a little longer than that. And one of the things that he said that really stuck with me, and by the way, you can also access my Sales Mastery Academy through Grant Cardone University. It doesn't matter. You can go to him or you can come to me. Doesn't matter. But one of the things he said is that if you're worried about business sales, your pipeline is broken. And I thought that was a very concise way of putting the matter, right? If you're worried about sales, your pipeline is broken. Now, I don't know if he came up with it, but he was the one that said, I go, that makes sense. I love how concise that is. If you're concerned about sales, your pipeline is broken. And what's a good way to repair that pipeline? Referrals. Getting referrals. Again, talking to customers who've done business with you and are more than happy to give out the referrals. And remember the number I gave you. 83% are willing to give you referrals. But yet, only 23 actually give them out because that's how many actually ask for them. Not many salespeople ask for them. So anyway, I'll take a couple of questions before I jump off of this. Got a great group. Thank you. Lorena's back. Chevy's back. Shelly, hey, Victor. Hi, back. Any questions, just type it in. If you ask for referrals, type in how you ask for referrals. I want to learn from you because I can always learn new strategies, new tactics. Is there something that you do in asking for referrals that you'd like to share right now? Now would be a good time to type that sucker in. And if you don't have a referral, at least type in where you're from right now. In fact, type in where you're from. Where are you calling in from? I want to know if I have any international folks. I know I got one from Belgium, probably one from Mexico. And again, you know, look at the Sales Mastery Academy US. I've made the platform so inexpensive that, you know, anybody can afford it. We're going to put in a new course coming up. It's called the Hero Story, how to create like the ultimate presentation. We're going to add that series in this month. And so every month I'm adding a new series and the price does not go up. And by the way, you can sign up for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and guaranteed, we do not auto-renew. So people always ask me that, Victor, does it auto-renew after 3 months if I just want 3 months? No, I don't do that. I hate doing that to people. So again, if you just want to use it for 3 months, great. longer, that's even better. All right, right here, let me see. All right, Porterville, California, chiming in. Miggy Sot, love it. Mona, what's happening from Texas? Tammy from Indiana. Sean from Austin, Texas, love it. Another McKinney, Texas, that's Shelly again. Danielle, Divine, Bornixon. Is that really your middle name, Divine? Okay, from Maumee, Ohio, love it. Mario Colopen from South Africa, currently in Dubai, Mr. International, love it. I'll be in South Africa again, probably in October. I'll be doing Tanzania, not Tanzania. I learned that. It's Tanzania. So it'll be cool. How important is a phone call? This is Chevy with a question. How important is a phone call in the sales cycle besides sales online? Look, a great question, because I'm often hearing this phrase, cold calling is dead. Cold calling is not dead. It's just become part of the mix. Let me know if you agree with this, Chevy. The thing is, you have to have an online presence, right? You're going to have to make the calls once in a while. Again, I know you hate doing it, but why not? And then also use social media. We're going to use voicemail. We're going to use emails. We're going to use texting. We have to bring all that to bear on our ability to grow our business. I'm currently reading a book by Tony Hughes. Note this down, because this book is worth it, especially if you're in the B2B realm. I'm reading a book by Tony Hughes called Combo Prospecting. Combo Prospecting. And it's about, again, using a combination of ways to actually do prospecting. And one of them is actually using the telephone. So the telephone's not going away. It just has to be used strategically. But if you can use, let's say, LinkedIn or Facebook to connect with somebody, to warm up the lead, and then ask for a connection via phone, see, that's how you use it. So it's not one or the other, online or offline. It's a little bit of everything in the mix, right? Great question, Chevy. Love that. Darshan Shelkegar. Did I get that kind of right? San Diego referral game is where it is, but not very good at yet asking discreetly. You don't have to ask discreetly, ask overtly. It's okay to ask. If you've done a good job for your customer, don't be bashful, don't be shy, ask for it. It's okay. Just find a polite way of asking for it. I think that's what you meant. How do you use LinkedIn to get referrals? Sean, that is another webinar, but I'll give you the broad strokes. First of all, know who you're going after, right? If you're using LinkedIn, are you signed up for like the Sales Navigator? That gives you more data about who you're searching. So first of all, who are you searching for? What title are you trying to reach? What is the title, the buying persona of the person you're trying to reach? And then let's find ways to engage them. If they're posting something, let's monitor those posts, maybe respond to those posts, maybe even share some content with them, like maybe an article they'd be interested in. Or maybe you can research any type of press release and then say, hey, I came across your press release, just wanted to add a comment. Any way that you can find engagement. That was the short version, Sean. So you get the idea. It could be a longer presentation. Paco says, agreed to use all the tools available to make the nudge and ultimately the sale. Love it. Chevy, again, tell us about your new book. When is the release date? The release date has been pushed out. My new book is called Sales Ex Machina. Sales Ex Machina, which means, loosely speaking from Latin, sales in the machine. And it's how the world of artificial intelligence is changing the world of selling. In other words, what's coming our way with artificial intelligence is really changing how we will sell in the future. So the release date, as of today, is February 8th on Amazon. So again, Sales Ex Machina. Hopefully within the next week or two, I'll be setting it up so you can do some pre-orders. It's almost like 300 pages. I wrote it with a good friend of mine, Dr. James Anderson, who's an AI specialist. And so together, his AI, my sales, that combination really came out. I mean, the book is fantastic. It is the first book that really addresses how artificial intelligence is changing the world of selling. So I'm really proud of that. Thanks for asking, Chevy. To Wen, my hero. No, your number one fan. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Where are you from, To? Did I say To or Tho? I know it's Wen. I got that part. Musine. Hi, Victor. Yes, all the money is in the follow-up, but how? And again, part of the following up is the referrals. How do you ask for it? Again, in this course, it's in the Sales Mastery Academy. Look under referrals, getting referrals. There's the program. And again, I think it's 17 videos. It's a good program. I think you'll like it. 22 videos, something like that. And it also talks about, here, I'll give you some of the highlights in there. I'm going to talk about how do you build referral requests. Here's a good one, into an agreement. Yeah. You can actually build a referral request into an agreement that once the deal is done, they're obligated to actually give you referrals. You can do that. I'll show you how to implement a follow-up plan. Also, are you familiar with how to create a referral ring? I show you how to create a referral ring so people are sending each other referrals. So again, good stuff. salesmasteryacademy.us. Check out the program. And again, I think my time is almost up. I try to keep these things short. Hope you guys are checking out my podcast, the Sales Influence Podcast. If you're not, shame on you. And I guess if you have any questions, email me, Victor@VictorAntonio. You can reach me. And other than that, as I always say, remember, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care, guys. See you.